different procedures and techniques. What is that you just said? That's the only thing I gotta say. You did good, but when you teach that you take off, I think keep it simple. What is it? That was the only thing you asked me.
Yeah. But you really want to memorize that if you can, kind of before you go into a presentation with the inspector. Look at your lesson plan. What are we doing, sir? Oh, spins. What is a spin? Study it. Like, give yourself 5 minutes to have it so it comes out nice. Because if it comes out nice on the introduction stage, it's going to be coming nice again on the summarized stage. What is a short field takeoff and maximum performance climb? Well, as the name implies, it's a maximum performance operation. It does require, from the pilot, the proper procedure and technique to do what? We need to lift off the ground as soon as possible. Why? Because we may have a short runway or an obstacle in the departure end. Stop. 40 seconds. Very easy to explain to the student what it is. Without complication. You can get into the complication as you're talking through the maneuver, but on the introduction stage, like when you're presenting what you're doing, keep it simple. Spit it out, 40 seconds, 1 minute max. Then you can go into the board, beautiful. Absolutely very nice, organized. Exactly how you want to have it on your check ride. Whatever the equipment, what are we doing? Completion standards, common errors for the move. Excellent. I like this much better. I give yourself an A over there. POH, check performance first before you even attempt to do the maneuver. You want to actually check the performance. Checklist usage, I give yourself an A. Utilize all runway. Excellent. Wind correction. Excellent. Static RPM. Excellent. You put wind on the left, but you didn't really put a windsock in there. I mean, it would be really nice if you do the maneuver and you put a little windsock on the runway and it shows where the wind's coming from, so the student can actually have a visual effect. Oh, wind's drifting me to the right. Wind is coming. So I mean, you put the windsock after, I believe. You should have had the wind. If you said the wind's from the left, you should have had the windsock on it. When you said lower to VY, did you mention pitch at all? Or you just said lower to VY? Because I didn't catch up on pitch.
I said VX after VR, and correct me if I'm wrong. VR is rotate, pitch to VX, which is 62. You clear the obstacle, after you clear the obstacle, you pitch to VY.
Pitch to VY. Because I heard you say lower to VY. You decrease your pitch attitude for VY pitch. What is VY pitch? Well, you have to look outside the window and visualize the horizon. Well, on a VX, my nose was way above the horizon. On the VY, it's going to be less. And, tweak it. VX 62, 64, I'm still not sure if it's 62 or 64.
I know.
So you have your checklist?
Yeah.
You have your checklist? What is it saying on the checklist?
It's 62 VX.
Okay.
I mixed it up. I said 64. That was a mistake. It's 62 VX.
62 to 64. Now this VX will change with weight. 7 checklist, that's what we have. 2,000 pounds, 60, 2,500 pounds, 65, 3,000 pounds, 70. I mean, it depends. The heavier you are, the higher the speed. The lighter you are, the lower the speed you can hold at. What happens between VX and VY as we're climbing out to altitude? Let's assume we're going up to Taos, New Mexico. It's 7,500 feet elevation. It's a hot summer day density altitude. is 10,000. What happens to your VX and VY at that density line? Not that I'm trying to be technical, I just want to
Right.
give you some knowledge.
Okay, so over here there's a big difference.
Okay.
And
Sea level. We're talking New
sea
York.
level.
Sea level.
We're
Okay.
talking here for sea level.
Okay. What
As
about
you- as
how's
you
New
get,
Mexico?
Well, what's the altitude then?
75 feet, 7,500.
That's what I'm saying.
7,500. Hot, really hot.
I'm just curious to know, like, what's the runway?
Oh, they're usually 9,000.
Oh, wow.
They're low numbers. But what are we
Okay,
looking at?
so-
What's the VX and VY relationship when
Right,
it's
so
so high?
as you gain altitude, VX is usually, it's usually high, VX.
What about VY?
VY, it goes lower, and, so it kind of needs size.
When it meets, what happens when it meets?
Then I think that is your, good question, it's the moment, when it meets,
When VX meets VY, what happens?
I think, is that like your ceiling or something? I'm not sure.
Complete checklist when done. On the practical test standards, it says completes the appropriate checklist. So when you're doing and talking through the maneuver, mention when we finish establish VY, we're going to complete our climb checklist.
The 1,000 foot checklist.
I think you mentioned something about 500. Yeah, 1,000 foot checklist, yeah, put it in. I put repetition. Somehow I felt there was repetition. You felt like the presentation was too short, and you're like, oh, I got 4 minutes to play with. What am I gonna say? Don't do it. I think I felt like I put it, repetition too short is okay. So this was like 11 minutes, 11, 12 minutes. It's okay. It's better than 8. It's not 15, but it's okay. Don't try to milk it and, there's another 2, 3 minutes here. I'm missing some time. Don't do it. Just don't do it. It's very noticeable.
Yes.
The instructor, you can't, the instructor too. He's an instructor for sure.
Yeah.
You know, I bet he's an active instructor. But the inspector will catch up on that pretty quick.
They're not, I mean, it's a CFI, they're going to start everything, the thing, they're not going to hunt the license like that.
You're gonna be out there teaching other people how to fly. They're really gonna catch up on that bullshit. Don't bullshit this. If it doesn't work out to be 15 minutes, just cut it short. It's better than try to milk it. Somehow I felt like you repeat the maneuver 3 times. First time on the how, after you did what and why. Second time when you tried to milk it, and you spit another blah blah blah. And the third time was actually to summarize.
Yeah.
You went into the how.
Yeah.
Don't do it.
So when I summarize,
Same exact as the introduction. The same 45, 60 seconds introduction, same exact thing.
so when I summarize, I don't do the what, why, and how. I just do one,
What do you want? Easy.
That's it. When I did the intro, I did the what, why, how, and then I did it again.
Yep, you did another how. That was the third how. So what is a short spill takeoff and maximum performance climb? As we mentioned before, it's a maximum performance operation. Does require the pilot technique to lift off the ground as soon as possible just because we have a short runway or we have an obstacle in the departure end that we're trying to clear. Got that? Any questions? Summarize. This is quick, short, concise summarization. What you're doing it in 40 seconds, wrapping it all up. The whole presentation is done. You're reinforcing what we're doing to the student after it's all done and saying, okay, this is what we were talking about. So they remember. Because you're getting into technicality, they tend to forget. They think about the wife, they think, so it's kind of grabbing their attention, you know, they think about, oh, I gotta go back to work tomorrow, what did he talk? Now, grab their attention. So what are we talking about? This is what we talked about. So when they go in the plane, they don't do a car on stall instead of I've seen happen. They just roll up to like F-16. It ain't gonna happen. It's got 150 horse, you know, whatever. It ain't gonna happen. All right. So timing, I put timing. We talked about timing. Summarize what and why. Get the how. Okay, we talked about that. Kiss. What is kiss? Okay. How 3 times. Why? Mention that. Did you mention to keep the hand on the throttle on the takeoff? No. Did he mention keep the hand on the throttle on the takeoff? Okay. When you're talking through the maneuver, instead of repeating the how 3 times, add these important notes. As we're rolling for takeoff, we're going to keep the hand on the throttle just in case we have to abort for whatever reason. It's right there. You keep it in there. Why do we do that? Number 1 on the takeoff roll, if there's a problem, we're there. Ba 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 bum, we stop. Number 2, some throttles tend to vibrate and go back. If you're trying to get a maximum performance flying from a throttle that's vibrating and going back by itself because the friction lock or whatever is not tight, you're going to end up hitting the tree. You keep your hand on the throttle all the way through the takeoff and the climb, you're guaranteeing that throttle is at full power, full maneuver. That's in the book. I think it's a common error.
Well, actually, is it considered that I mentioned it if I mentioned improper use of control?
Yeah, it covers it. But the common error is, you can mention on the common error, improper removal of the hand from the throttle on the takeoff. And mention on the how, we're going to advance the power to full throttle, we're going to keep our hand on the throttle all the way throughout the takeoff to make sure the power is full. Weight is fixed, not true. We know that. We covered that. The lighter the aircraft, the airspeed is slower. I mean, if you open up that POH right now, I'll show you. The liftoff and the barrier speed at full gross weight is higher than when you're light. Did you mention when you're actually going to select 10 degrees of flap, we're going to visually take a look at the flaps and make sure they're coming down to 10 degrees and it's not just a twist. Even if it's a J-bar, what if you get the flaps in there but they don't move? The whole takeoff is based
on the flap.
On the flap. 10 degrees or 25 degrees. If you select flaps at 10, 25, and it's not getting to that position, take the whole performance chart, throw it in the garbage. It's not going to work. Because you just configure the airplane differently with what the fuel is recommended. Not because of you, because of mechanical problem. So if you advance or select 10 degrees and you look and it's not at 10 degrees, don't attempt to take off.
Let's see, we're very tight with not Cessna.
Whatever. I'm going to
That's
take
not easy. Look at it.
every time you select left, selected indicator. Not all the airplanes have flaps. So if you don't have flaps, who cares? There's no flaps. But if you do have flaps, select the 10 degrees, indicating 10 degrees. And you got asymmetrical. One can extend the other one. That will conclude. Make Short fill takeoff and maximum performance climb.
What? That's a simple thing, guys.
Landing in the wrong airport? Oh, this flight 82. This is very common.
Yeah.
Very common. Southwest recently.
Yeah.
How do you download that?
No, it's YouTube.
Oh, you
Put it as YouTube.
We think so. You know what? How can you avoid this? Back up every visual approach with electronic guidance. You set up an ILS frequency.
You're done.
Set up a localizer, set up a GPS, NDB, whatever, something, GPS, RNAV, and then you back up your visual approach with electronic guidance. If something doesn't match, go around and figure out what's going on.
Exactly. They were stuck on the runway, so the airport basically was closed.
No, these are professional.
These are guys that fly for Boeing.
Professional pilots.
This is Boeing pilots. Because Boeing operates the Dream Lifter. This is
We're
Boeing
not
pilots.
talking a flight instructor.
No.
Or a private pilot.
No.
And it's two.
Yeah.
It's not, it's supposed to back each other up. Hey,
As a matter of fact, it's more than two.
hey buddy, I don't know where you're going, but my nav is not indicating that correct airport. What are you looking for? I'm looking outside. Well, look at your instruments. That's not right.
It's more than one. Two.
This way,
It's more
that
than
way.
two pilots. But they were flying from, I think it was Germany they were flying from.
Germany to where?
So America. So it's more than two pilots. So you have 4 pilots on board, 2 crews. And they landed at the wrong airport. Imagine that. No matter what you do, I do. When you go into an airport, always have a GPS, direct whatever airport.
Back it up. Just back it up. Yeah.
Always.
It's 4 people.
This is 4 crews. Well, 2 crews are asleep, but this is 4 people. 2 guys sitting in the front of the most advanced 747 in the world, and landed at the wrong airport.
They work for Atlas?
They work for Boeing.
Boeing.
This is Boeing.
Boeing
uses
Boeing
Dreamliner.
pilots. They use Boeing pilots.
Yeah, Boeing uses
Boeing employees. They
Yeah.
work for Boeing. They
Yeah.
get paid by Boeing to fly these air.
Yeah, the Dreamliner specifically.
I
It's
know
the only one.
Atlas Air Cargo.
I know. It's Boeing because Boeing uses it to truck parts for themselves. And they use it to carry the 787 parts. So the 787 fuselage is in the actual back of this thing. And Boeing is flying Boeing pilots. And it's fucked up. Can you imagine if it's a test pilot for Boeing?
You have your logbook, something I want to sign the transfer?
Yeah.
Yeah. Sure.